Well, we're here at the Kelly Writers House on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania, and it's the home of ModPo. But we thought that people who are involved in the ModPo course, who only get to see one room, basically, of the Writers House, maybe the studio a little bit, would like to get to see the house, every room of the house, or most of them. So here we are outside the building, the Kelly Writers House, and the building was built in 1851. It's a Tudor-style cottage. It's not Victorian. It was built by an architect named Samuel Sloan, who was interested in creating a kind of getaway cottage. So this is in West Philadelphia on the left bank of the Schuylkill River, and on the right bank of the Schuylkill River you have Center City, so-called, and this was in 1851 a kind of getaway space. So this is the Writers' House. It was a residence for families for 100+ years until in 1995 a group of us decided to take it over and turn it into a house for writers. So come on in, let's take a look inside. Here we are in the vestibule, and here in this room we have a plaque dedicating the house in honor of Paul Kelly, who gave us a gift to enable us to renovate the house in 1997. And you will notice that the plaque includes an epigraph from one of our important poems in ModPo, Emily Dickinson's I Dwell in Possibility. And the two lines, "Of visitors the fairest, for occupation this." And in this context, this means the occupation of the house. We occupy, we are occupants. And the "this" here refers to everything that goes on in this house, which is workshops, performances, seminars, reading groups, manuscript exchanges, classes, readings, all that activity, all that literary activity happens here. So Emily Dickinson is kind of a patron saint. So let's go on into the Arts Cafe. This is a room that you're familiar with. This is the room where all of the ModPo videos were made. It's been recently renovated, and on the day of this tour, we've just finished making new ModPo videos, so we're kind of set up in here. And I see Chris Martin and Anna Strong-Safford in here, so let's go on in and say hi to them.
Hey, Al.
We are here in the Arts Cafe.
Yeah, here it is.
And Chris is doing his usual thing.
Yeah. If you're ever looking for me, this is usually where I'm at. I'm in here.
Winding a cord.
I'm in here wrapping cables and turning lights on and off. Yeah.
Anna, what do you think of these windows here in this room?
The expanded Arts Cafe, I guess, since last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
This used to be a porch, and now it's just all these beautiful windows.
Yeah, so we've reoriented things a little bit here, but so this is the Arts Cafe, and if this is your tour, you're not interested in this room because this is the one you see all the time. So let's go into the living room and see what we can see in there. The living room really is a living room in the sense that people like to hang out in this space, and there's this spot called the alcove where there's the famous green couch, and you never know who's lollygagging in the green couch at any one time, but look who's lollygagging in the green couch.
Lollygagging.
It's Emily Harnett and Allie Castleman, and they seem to be cold.
Yeah, we're a little chilly.
Yeah. So what goes on in this space? Why are you guys here? Well, I know why you're here because I asked you to sit here. But
It's a very comfortable green couch.
It's a little alcove. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's
And
not
what happens here?
People
Typically?
read, they hang out, they talk, they gossip, they find blankets. There's this cool terrarium with no animals in it, which I like to
It's a
think
terrarium
about.
made out of a television.
Exactly, you know, as one does.
The real spirit of the Writers' House
Yeah.
embodied in this.
Absolutely.
People make friends.
Yeah, lots of friends.
I met like one
We're
of our
friends.
good friends on this couch
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Callie.
Callie Ward.
Yeah.
Oh, the very one.
And here, so this, and of course, at the end of the year, we pick up the pillows, the cushions, and all the coins that people leave.
How much? How much is in there?
A couple of bucks. It's how we fund ModPo.
Oh,
Well, it's nice to see you
Nice to
both.
see you.
Maybe we'll see
You
you
too.
again on this tour.
Always
you never,
possible.
You never know. Okay, so this is the living room. The fireplace works. It's really great. This is really great. Oh, look, there's a picture of me and Paul Kelly. Yeah. And I was a much younger man. Oh my goodness, look at all that beard. Dark beard. That's Paul Kelly who gave us the gift to fund the renovation of the Writers' House. Back in 1997 when we were all young. And here's the dining room, which is a really important space. Oh look, there's Dave Poplar.
Oh, hey, Al.
Hey,
See you there.
You're here.
How's it going?
How are you? Good to see you. What goes on in the dining room, Dave?
This is where people eat food, here in the dining room.
That's true,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
How about a less obvious answer? What's the spirit of this room? Why do we keep a dining room at the
Well,
right?
one of the reasons you said it was so important to have a working kitchen was because food brings people together, and
Yeah.
there's always people baking cookies, and
Right.
there's always food, there's always people congregating. And the
Right.
kitchen is a central place in most homes, and you can't have that absent from a really communal environment like this
Yeah.
place. You know, I haven't been to Philly in 4 years, and I came back to the Kelly Writers' House before I even made it back to my favorite bar.
So the Writers' House is in the hierarchy above Dave's bar. What is the name of that bar, by the way?
It's on the same. It's Dirty Fred's, obviously. Yeah, but haven't been there yet. I'll be there later tonight. But still, I came here first. I just think.
Good, and we are actually going to break bread together soon.
Yep.
Okay, well, it's good to see you,
Me too.
Dave. What are you reading, by the way? What's happening?
This is just a book on social epistemology.
So one of your philosophy books.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, keep reading. And this is the kitchen. And the kitchen is the best place. And look how clean it is.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Gabe and Lily are here. Lily, say something good about the kitchen. It's your favorite place, aside from your office, probably.
Well, there's always people here. If you walk in to the house and it doesn't seem like anyone's at home, they're all standing around the kitchen.
Why?
Well, it's just like a regular house. You know, it's people come here and cook their meals for lunch. We make all the food that we serve at our program receptions in here in the kitchen with our staff, like cooking and sometimes eating together. It's as sort of discombobulated in a charming way as your like kitchen at home might be. There's free coffee and tea, so a lot
Free
of
coffee and tea.
well, as you can see, kind
Yeah.
of coffee. Gabe's
Yeah.
standing near the tea.
Your coffee, he's tea.
Oh yeah, well, classic.
Gabe, what was your experience in the kitchen when you were a student here at Penn? You spent a lot of time in here.
I did. The kitchen is the heart and soul of the Writers' House, which is also to say that it is crowded, a little jumbled, a little messy, but loving, and, you know, not just because we feed people, but it's the main social space for the work-study students. It's the place you gotta pass to get to all the good stuff, all the offices. But it's a loving space full of snacks.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a counterintuitive thing to be taking people who are part of a virtual community, taking an online course, to take them through the house and emphasize the kitchen so strongly, but I think it's not inconsistent.
No.
Right? It's not inconsistent. Like, if you really want to understand, if you're an online student in a far-off place and you really want to understand why the Writers' House is the host of ModPo, it's not because we have sort of segregated ModPo-ishness into some film closet or some tech unit. We want it to be part of this space. So, and the kitchen is so crucial to that. It's something very humane to think about a literary space needing food, having a kitchen. So here we are. Nice to see you both.
Bye.
Right. And we have, before we go into the studio, I just thought I would show you the garden. Here we're at the garden. And you can see we're all set up here. It's with terrific security. And we're all set up in the garden so that people can hang out here and have lunch. And this is a stage here, so we can do some outdoor programming. And now we're going to go into the studio. And the studio is a relatively new place. And look who's here. Davey Niddle is here in the studio. Can we go in? Can we come in?
Come on in, Al.
Yeah. So this is, I don't know if you can tell, those of you who are watching this video, but I'm going to close the door and I'm going to create the sound attenuation that goes with this. We have built a room within a room. The acoustics are that much better, aren't they?
It's very impressive.
Yeah. Have you done stuff in this room? This studio?
I have done stuff in this room. I've recorded poem talks in this room and ModPo videos and Penn Sound podcasts. If you're watching a ModPo Plus video that's not recorded in the Arts Cafe, very frequently it's recorded in here.
Yeah, the Wexler studio. Yeah, and this is where Zach spends a lot of his time. Zach, being the person who's holding this camera, spends a lot of his time in here. And the building of this studio, the Wexler studio, which postdates the beginning of ModPo, so it's a new facility for us, has really transformed it. As Davey said, we now can record, if the Arts Cafe is busy, we can record ModPo videos in here. So, what are you reading, Davey?
A little light reading.
On the management, notes on the management of spoiled
Little,
identity.
uh,
What? Goffman.
It's Goffman, little
Oh.
60s vintage sociological classic. Yeah.
So Goffman holds up, doesn't
Goffman super holds up, and
Yeah.
Goffman holds up for queer theory, which is the nature of my reading of Goffman.
he? Kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hope you're enjoying your tour of the house.
Yeah, and we're going to move on. Thank you, Davey. Good
Bye,
to see
ModPo
you.
people.
So now we're going to go upstairs. And we're going to go to the back stairs. This is going to be a challenge to Zach. We're going to go up the back stairs, and I'm sure... Oh, look who's hanging out in the kitchen now! Oh, my goodness. Look at these guys. All right. Okay, now we're gonna go up the back stairs. They were built in 1851. Even I bump my head on this if I'm not careful. I think Zach just bumped his head. So this is the second floor, and we're passing through the library here. And these stairs go up to the creepy third floor, which is where Lily Applebaum and I have our office. And we're here in the library, and look who's here in the library. We've seen you before.
Spontaneously clasping hands.
You're not,
in the
but no
library.
longer are you in blankets.
That's true.
Yeah, it's much warmer. in the
It's summer
library.
here.
Yeah. Is this really a library? Not really. I mean, it has books
There are
in
books,
it, but
yeah.
mostly
What
it's
else
for
do you
people
need?
holding hands and talking.
Yeah, which we do a
Yeah.
lot of.
I think I'm going to turn the lights on. Let's see what happens.
Ah,
Yes, so.
different vibe now.
We do have books, and we're kind of in summer mode now, so things are. We once had a confession booth here. There was a curtain set up, and you could go in, and you could. Zach, could you record something? Yeah, so you could record a confession. I think I'm not sure exactly. I never did. I never tried it, but this is what happens at the writer's house. What's the funniest, strangest thing that's ever happened at the writer's house in your experience?
Oh my god.
So many.
Do you have any ready
She's passing it off
anecdotes?
to you.
Oh,
Emily. Have you done it? How about dinner with David Milch
That was excellent. And Maury Povich. Yeah.
and Maury
same
Povich?
thing. Yeah,
Oh,
he
Maury
told us-
came to the dinner.
Yeah,
That's
he
right, because
did.
he's a big
Yeah.
fan of David Milch.
David
Yeah.
told us some wild stories. He can be.
Yes, I've
counterpart to
actually
do.
I've never heard a story like that one about Mexico.
Oh,
my
God, yeah.
That was
So-
frightening.
Oof.
Yeah. David Milch, who is not doing well lately,
I know.
but
Oh, heartbreaking.
he was a Writers' House fellow. I don't know what year that was.
2010.
Was it 2010?
There have also been some amusing open mics.
Oh, very, very amusing.
Isn't there a puppet person?
Yes, Al, there is a puppet person. She
We
does
have an open mic night
puppets.
called Speakeasy, Poetry, Prose, and Anything Goes.
Heavy on the anything goes.
Oh,
Jinx.
nice to see you again.
Of course.
And our last stop on the tour here is the student project space. And look who's just happens to be reading in the student project space. It's Amber Rose and Max who's doing, that.
Rubik's Cube.
It's the Rubik's Cube, and he's not getting very far.
No, I'm not.
What happens
Taking
is-
my time.
And
You're
what-
reading some
Bernadette
Mayer,
Poetry State Forest.
Poetry State Forest, yeah.
Fantastic. What happens in this room?
Students come in this room and do great things. There are these workstations, students collaborate on different projects.
There's a wall of zines.
Look at all the zines
and
here. Yeah.
publications. Yeah, it's a collaborative workspace. And a prime napping space.
Oh yeah, yeah. The beanbag is crucial. And from this room, we get a view of the garden from the second floor. So, and we're on. It's hard for you if you're traveling on the other side of this camera on this tour. It's hard for you to get it, but we are standing right on top of the studio. It's right below us. So thank you both. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
see you,
Good to
Al.
see you.
What are you reading besides the Rubik's Cube? What are you reading lately?
What have I been reading
Yeah.
lately? I've been reading short stories by called Sacred Smokes by gosh, his name is escaping me. Theodore C. Van Alst Jr., Native American writer from Chicago, who wrote a collection of short stories about growing up in the 80s and being a gangbanger, as he calls it.
Wow.
Pretty good stuff.
What are you reading? I bet you're reading for work.
I am actually not. I'm giving myself a little break and I'm reading a novel right now,
Wonderful.
which is called The Temple of My Familiar by Alice Walker.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah.
People reading fiction and not poetry. I love it. Thank you all.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we're glad that you came along with us. This house really means a lot to me personally. It's 14 rooms, but it feels like 25. And this is where I come to work every day. I have the privilege of doing that. And really, a week doesn't pass when a ModPo person doesn't show up. There's always at least some ModPo person who shows up. And this is my way of saying that you are most welcome to come to the Kelly Writers House at 3805 Locust Walk anytime, preferably in the non-summer months because we're a little quiet in the summer, but we're open pretty much all year. Just let us know. We'd love to show you around in person so you don't have to be on the other end of this video tour. And thanks a lot for being part of the Kelly Writers House community.